Well, here's the truck camper. So this is built for a 2005 Toyota Tacoma access cab with the longer bed. So it's just over a 6-foot truck bed. Now, I built this because I didn't have a lot of options, at least affordable options. So this unit is built out of 1/2-inch plywood. So the exterior here is 1/2-inch plywood. The top is it's roofing steel. So you just get it at the lumber yard. It's not anything heavy. It's actually the lowest gauge you can get. Can't remember the exact gauge, but it's quite sturdy for what I need it for. So yeah, 1/2-inch plywood all the way around. The only exception is the floor. So we're gonna go inside in a minute here. The floor is 3/4-inch plywood. Other than that, everything else is framed with just 2x4 or 2x2 dimensional lumber. And it's painted with an oil-based paint. So that provides all the weatherproofing. And then around the windows, as you'll see here, all this is silicone. And any fasteners I used, so you can see the screws I used to secure this window, it's actually just, it's actually screws used for roofing. It has a rubber flange here. So, anyways, some other features of this camper here, you'll notice the shape is kind of unique. The reason it's narrow down along the bottom and then wider is because this sits right down. So this section from here to here sits right down in between the wheel wells. This section, so I got a tape measure here. This section here sits over top of the bed rails of the truck. Under here, as you're gonna see, and as you're gonna see inside, we have some pieces that stick out. This actually sits high enough so that the wheel wells sit right under this area. Bed rail here to here, wheel well under there. This section fits in between the bed rail, in between the wheel wells. You'll see some hooks here. That's what's used to actually tie the truck camper down to the bed of the truck. So there's little D-rings if you look inside the truck, inside the bed, and those D-rings allow me to connect. I use actual heavy-duty straps, ratchet straps, but I can connect that to those D-rings and hold the camper down to the truck. Some other features you're going to notice with this truck camper is it's got a full height door here. So you can see here, full height. I picked up this door, this window, the same one on the other side, and the window under here, so that sliding glass window, and the vent, which is covered in about 1 foot of snow. But I picked all that up secondhand off Kijiji. I think I got all that for $100, and basically I just repurposed it. What else do you see? So that bracket and this bracket here, basically they're just two different types of jacks, so camper jacks that are used to lift the camper up and down. Now, these were the hardest things and probably the most expensive things to find. Camper jacks are not cheap, and so I had to look around on Kijiji for a while to locate them. I needed 4, one for each corner of the camper. And yeah, once you find them though, hold on to them because they're pretty valuable. So aside from the 4 camper jacks and the $100 worth of Kijiji finds, everything else is just building materials. I reused some stuff. I had a milk crate. I use this to actually hold well, a variety of things, but when I'm actually camping, I'll throw everything from like garbage in there to odds and ends to keep off the ground at the campsite. Usually if it, you know, maybe it's my garbage, I don't want to keep that in the camper. So if I keep it here and I put a lid over that, or a piece of wood or something, it keeps the critters out of it. Down below here, I've actually removed it just for the winter. But I actually have a milk crate, just like this one, that goes right here. So it actually slides over top. So these are bent a little right now, but those are normally down a bit more. That's just threaded rod. So there's holes in the milk crate that correspond to holes or to these threaded rods. So the milk crate just slides on here. And then what I can do is I can actually set a 20-pound propane tank in here and thread on my gas line to that propane tank. And this propane line runs all the way See it down here. So it runs under the door, and it actually goes up into the camper right here. So that goes up into the camper right there. That provides me with propane for cooking, and I also use it with I think it's called the Little Buddy heater. It's an infrared heater. Some other things you're going to notice about this camper, maybe we'll look at this. Although it's a little snowy, this is simply a drain. So that's a drain because I have a sink inside. And so, you know, just the water you've used, it just drains outside. And the thing is, because the bed rail of the truck is just inside of this area here, that water, instead of falling down and into the bed of the truck, it falls down right onto the ground. Some other things. You'll notice this sitting here. Basically what this is for, this entire camper is wired for your typical lights you'd have in a house. So 110 volt. And it also is wired for 12 volt, which is what you'd find in, I don't know, maybe a, what would you find it in? Maybe a camper, I guess. But it's wired in both. So this is your 110 volt. And so what I can do is I can bring a generator along with me camping, and I can plug into this. I usually have a short extension cord from here to the generator. And what that allows me to do is basically put heat into the, or excuse me, put power into the camper for running things like a microwave. I actually carry along a microwave normally. And in order to power that, I have to fire up the generator. All right. Other things you'll notice this plug here. Welcome to Canada, where everything freezes solid in the winter, but it's your typical 110 volt plug. So when I have the generator running, I can actually plug an extension cord to power something else out of this particular outlet. So that's the 110 volt system. The 12 volt system, which is also in this camper, runs a secondary set of lights and a secondary set of switches and things. All right, so here's an example. 110 volt. So when I have the generator running, I can use this light bulb. When I don't have the generator hooked up, I can then rely off the 12 volt system, which is right here. All right, some other things you're going to notice here. Take my mountain bike around. I found the easiest way to keep the mountain bike from getting wiped off the top of the camper is to hang it off the back. So this allows my front tire to hook in here, and then I strap it in right there. Okay, some other things with this camper is these two hooks. Basically what this allows me to do is to take one of those shower bags, the ones that you fill with water and lay out in the sun. I actually have it high enough so that when this camper is on the truck, I can hook the bag on there, and the bag now hangs high enough that I can use it for showering or washing things or anything like that. What else can I show you here? This, you've probably been looking at it saying, what the heck is that? Well, that's a way to reuse old parts off of one of those car shelter canopies. I just took all the top pieces I had laying around and I bolted them all together, and now it makes a ladder, so I can get up on the roof of the camper if I need to. This is part of the electrical system. This is a solar panel covered in snow, but this solar panel is wired directly to the accessory battery that's normally kept in the camper. What it provides is a constant trickle charge to that battery. So yeah, that works quite well. It basically allows that battery to be kept at full charge whenever possible. And what else we got here? I think that's probably it on the outside, aside from the windows. So I showed you a glimpse of them on the other side. This is an older style flip out window found on campers. I bought these for pretty cheap. They do the job. I just sealed around the windows with silicone and the hardware I used to secure them right here. They're the roofing steel style screws, so they have a rubber gasket around them so nothing can get in. So I want to give you guys some dimensions of this camper. So I'm going to hook my tape on right at the peak here. Maybe I'll go backwards first. So I'm going to give you an overall length here. The overall length of the camper appears to be about 122¼ inches. Overall width of the camper is about 75¾ inch. The distance from the bottom of the camper up to right about the underside of the bed area is about 39½ inches. The distance from the bottom to whereabouts the window starts in the truck, you're looking at about 20 inches. When we look at the distance from the inside of the wheel well to the outside of the camper, we're looking at about 17 inches. And that storage area that I made that goes over the wheel wells, but inside the bed rail, the dimensions of that are 7 inches by 8½ inches. And the overall length of that, from the very back of it, we're looking at 59½ inches. Okay. And those would be the same on both sides. Now the reason it doesn't go all the way from the front over the wheel wells is because I needed a little access point when I'm inside the camper to hook up the straps that hold down the camper to the D-rings in the bed of the truck. So the space that I left myself was about 7 inches. So 7 inches from the very front for those storage compartments, which are over top of the wheel wells. Okay. And let's check out one more thing here. So if we're going to look at the overall height, so we're going to look at the height from the top roof of the camper to where the sleeping area starts. We're looking at about 37 3/8 of an inch, 37½ inches, give or take. Okay, that's enough. And if we look at the total length of the sleeping area, we're looking at so if we're looking at the total length of the sleeping area, we're looking at an even 4 feet, 48 inches. Okay. And some other dimensions you might want. So from the bottom of the camper, top of the roof, let me get it positioned right, we're looking at about 75½ inches.